Well, hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Luke Alexander, who is the President, CEO, and Director of Newcore Gold. Luke, great to see you today. Last time we spoke, I think at the beginning of February, you were telling us about your Enchi Gold Project, a district-scale gold project in Ghana. I think 216 square kilometers of prospective ground you are working on there. You have a 1.2 million ounce inferred resource there already. And when we spoke last time, you were about 18,000 meters into a 58,000 meter drilling program. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how that drilling program has been going, but also this morning, you've put out some news. You've extended that drilling program to 66,000 meters. So if we could start with that news, why are you expanding the drilling program?
Yeah, nice to see you again, Leo, and thanks for having me on. I mean, the main motivation for expanding our drill program from 58,000 to 66,000 meters is because of the successful drilling that we've had to date. So the additional 8,000 meters that we'll drill is focused on RC drilling, which is really focused on stepping out our existing resource areas where we've had a lot of success. And you'll have seen that in a lot of the press releases that we've been putting out over the last 6 months, as well as targeting some areas that we've previously drilled, such as Quachigram, Kojina Hill, which we put some results out today, as well as we'll target with the RC rig some new areas that have never been drilled before. So the real motivation for adding an additional 8,000 meters is all of the success that we've been having thus far with the drilling that we've done.
Well, let's talk about some of the results you've had so far. Over the last few months, you put out some results. First of all, at the Nyam Project. Tell us a little bit about what you found there.
Yeah, so since we last spoke, I think you highlighted that we had drilled 18,000 meters at the time. We've now drilled a total or released results from 29,000 meters. So we've added about 11,000 meters since we last spoke. All of the releases that we've put out or assays we've put out thus far have been focused on that RC drilling, which again is part of the reason we're so keen to extend that portion of our drill program. And at Nyam specifically, we intersected some very nice higher grades down at about 175 to 200 meters. Those are the deepest holes that we've ever drilled at Nyam, and we came across 9 meters at 5.4 grams, 7 meters at about 5.8 grams. So those speak to what we've talked about last time when we spoke, which is once we start getting into the sulfides and drilling deeper on this project, what we're expecting is higher grade, and that will obviously start to highlight that in the future that there's underground potential to complement the open pit deposits that we've outlined thus far. So we were very pleased with that, and we've seen that with some of the other drilling that we've done at Boeing, Quachigram, as well as Sium, where we're starting to see these higher grade intercepts as we get deeper. So that's been great.
I mean, when we spoke last time, you were talking about the similarities you guys are seeing between your project and Kinross's Chirano mine, where there's also this sort of oxide layer on the top, which would be amenable to heap leach processing, and then they have a sulfide layer underneath, and that's where your drilling has been focusing now on some of those going to some of those deeper sulfides.
Yeah, so if you look at the balance of our drill program that we've got planned, so again, we've released about 29,000 meters of drill results thus far. So when you look at that in relation to a 66,000 meter program, we've released about 45% of the total planned meters. So lots of drilling to come. If you look at the balance of the drill program that we've got, about half of it will be focused on RC drilling. So again, kind of focusing on 100 to 150 meters below surface. A lot of that focused on the oxide transitional zone and looking to expand on the heap leach opportunity that we've got at our Enchi project. But the other half of that, call it 18,000 meters, is going to be focused on diamond drilling. And that's where we're going to be drilling the first deep holes ever on this project, down to kind of 250 to 350 meters below surface. You've referenced Chirano to the north of us, about 50 kilometers. And if you look at that deposit, as well as other deposits along the Sefwi-Bibiani belt. What you'll see is that once you get into the sulfides, you really start to see the grades increase and the overall size of the resource increase. So we are going to start to focus on that for the first time ever. And about half of the results that we'll release from now to the end of the program will be focused on a bunch of that deeper drilling. But as I highlighted with some of the results at Nyam, we're starting to see some of that already, which has been very encouraging and something we're looking forward to hopefully seeing more of as we continue to drill these deeper holes.
As you mentioned, you're getting some of those higher grade results from your RC drilling. This is before you've even started drilling much deeper with the diamond drill bits.
Yep, absolutely. And one of the nice things, the RC rig that we've currently got on site, it is able to drill down deeper. So we are able to utilize that to get down again to that kind of 150 meter level. We can even push it to 200 meters, which is what we did at Nyam with those deeper holes, and what we've done with Boeing as well, and NCAU with some of the holes that we've drilled there.
I mean, going on to boeing, what have you been doing there? You've been expanding the length of the strike, yeah? North and south.
Yeah. So if you look at boeing, it's our second largest deposit, sits at about 530,000 ounces. When we last spoke, we talked about a very large gap area that we drilled out, which we think will add resource. But since we last spoke, we've also now stepped out to the north about 500 meters and added a number of mineralized holes to the north, as well as down to the south. We've done a bunch of step out drilling down there as well. And we think that will add to the overall resource on the southern end. And we've continued to extend down to the south as well, given the success that we've continued to have. So our view with boeing is that it's a real kind of low-hanging fruit type opportunity for us to significantly add resource, as well as at NCAU and Nyam, which are our other resource areas. So continuing to step out, given all of our deposits remain open along strike.
And in the announcement this morning, you mentioned some results at Kojina Hill. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you found there?
Yeah, so Kojina Hill sits about 1.5 kilometers to the west of our Nyam deposit. We historically drilled about 17 holes there. Last year, we drilled 9 holes, and then this morning we put out an additional 5 holes. So we've now drilled a total of about 40 holes at Kojina Hill. Today, we released our best intercept from Kojina Hill. So we were very pleased with that. And then we also encountered some high grade at Kojina Hill down at about 80 meters, coming across about 3.3 gram material across 10 meters. So again, that speaks to that high grade opportunity that we're looking to look to expand on as we continue to drill. And then looking at Nyam are some other results that we released today, and Kwachikroom. Kwachikroom, we think, is going to become our next resource area. It sits about 3 kilometers to the south of Nyam. It sits on what we think is the same structure, and it lines up very well. And we've now proved out, since we last spoke, a 900-meter mineralized zone, which sits at Kwachikroom, and we think that it will become our next resource area, given all of the successful drilling that we've had there. In total, we've now drilled about 44 holes at Kwachikroom, so we're very pleased with those results. And one of the things that we will do with the additional drilling that we've got planned is we've got a 3-kilometer gap sitting between Nyam and Kwachikroom, and we'll continue to step out to the south at Nyam, as well as to the north at Kwachikroom, and we'll ultimately look to continue to expand the resources, and hopefully over time we will ultimately connect those two areas, which we think will add significant value for our shareholders.
I mean, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's a 216 square kilometer area you're working on there, and lots of targets, yeah, and some which we haven't even been able to get to in this interview. But looking forward to the months ahead, what are the sort of key catalysts you think that sort of people should be looking out for?
Yeah, so maybe I'll just firstly touch on the kind of district scale opportunity. I mean, we've identified 25 targets to date across our overall property, and we're taking a real multi-pronged exploration approach. So I've talked about expanding resource, some of the deeper drilling, going back to previously drilled areas. But over the next few months, we'll also target some areas that have never been drilled before. Seum South is one of those areas. It's the largest anomaly on our project, sits at about 3.5 by 2.5 kilometers. Naquanta is another area, Tokasia. So these are, other areas that we'll look to make some maiden discoveries on, which again, we think will add value for our shareholders. And from a catalyst perspective, I think I've touched on it a little bit, but just to recap, we've got about 18,000 meters of diamond drilling, which we'll release out. We will start to release over the next number of months here. We've also got another, call it 19,000 meters of RC drilling, which will target some of these new areas as well as expansion at our existing deposits. And then another big catalyst for us is our PEA. We're busy working on our updated PEA at the moment. We will have that out by the end of Q2, so in the next couple of months here. And we think that that could be a nice catalyst to further underpin the value of our company for shareholders, as we ultimately look to wrap some economics around the updated resource that we put out last year, as well as we've been able to include an additional 18,000 meters of drilling that we got done prior to Christmas into that PEA. So we may get a small updated resource within that as well. So that'll be another big catalyst for us. So lots of drill results and an updated PEA will be the things to look out for from a Newcore perspective.
Absolutely. And in terms of sort of funding all of this activity, how's that side of things looking?
It's looking good. I mean, the way we ultimately laid out our budget was we wanted to be fully funded for as many meters into the ground as possible, as well as an updated resource at the end of the year, and then the PEA that I just talked about as well. So we're fully funded for all of that work, and then we wanted to make sure we left ourselves with 9 or 12 months of G&A to ultimately be able to run the business. So from a funding perspective, we're obviously burning lots of cash every month because we are aggressively drilling, but we have made sure that we're fully funded for all of the work that we've outlined for you and the market.
Excellent. Well, exciting times for the company. A lot of activity ahead. Good luck for all of that drilling. Thank you very much for joining us today for this update.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Leo. And I think, as I've mentioned in the past, we're always very keen to engage with shareholders and prospective shareholders. So I'd encourage you to visit, anyone listening, to visit our website, as well as we're very active on social media. So look us up on LinkedIn or Twitter, or we've got a YouTube channel, and we've had some very good feedback on all of that. So encourage anyone who wants to learn more to look into those various platforms, and look forward to engaging. And thanks a lot for your time today, Leo.
Thank you very much. Luke Alexander of Newcore Gold.